we're asked to figure out how many customers there are in each customer category. And we need to find the customer category ID and the customer category name. And then we need to calculate the number of customers. So let's see, I'm going to start by writing a select statement. Selects these row or these fields. And then let's figure out where these are from. So we're going to have a customer category ID and a customer category name, and then this count should be of customers. So I'm thinking we need to count maybe a customer ID, and I'm going to just add count here because I know I'm going to need a count. All right, so let's look at the ERD diagram to figure out where these fields are coming from. So here's our customer table, and each customer can belong to one or many customer categories. So we have each customer can be member of many customer category membership, and each customer category membership is linked to one customer category. Likewise, each customer category can have many customers in their membership, and each one of the membership belongs to one customer. The reason why we have this kind of odd table here between these two tables is because there's a many-to-many relationship between the customers table and the customer category table. And when in a database there's a many-to-many relationship, we need something called an intersect table, and this is what that is. So each customer can belong to many customer categories, and each customer category can have many customers in it. So that's a many-to-many relationship, and we have this intersect table. But anyway, let's see here. We need to count the customer IDs somehow. We need the customer category name because we need to display that. And maybe we need the customer category ID too. Well, three things we need. So we need the customer category membership table and the customer category table. So I'm going to say from customer category membership, and we're going to say as A for that one. And then we're going to join that with the customer category table. I'm going to name that as B. Never did the as A here, but now we got that too. Customer category ID is going to come from B. Customer category name is going to come from B. And then the customer ID is going to come from A. Right, but we want how many customers there are in each customer category. So here we know for each, there's a kind of a keyword in the question that we need to group by customer category. So we need to find out for each customer category how many rows are in that customer category. So I'm going to say group by, and then we're going to be grouping by customer category. So maybe customer category ID would be good. Also, we're doing an inner join here. So I'm using just the keyword join, but that's the same thing as saying inner join. But we're using an inner join here because we are not interested in potentially categories that don't have any members, for example. We're only interested in categories that have members. Actually, maybe we are interested in then showing that that's a 0. Well, we don't know. The problem didn't specify. But say, for example, we have a customer category with no members, maybe we should be displaying a 0 for that. And if that's the case, now we need a left outer join from this table to this table, and then we need to somehow deal with a null value if there is no relation or if there is no associated field. So we need like a coalesce or something like that. But I'm going to leave that out in this query because I don't think that's what's being asked here. Okay, and what do I join these two based on? Well, I'm going to join them on customer category ID. All right, if I run this now, let's see what happens. Actually, let's run this without the count for now. Let's just run it the way it is right now. And when I run this, I get a message, error message saying customer ID must appear in the group by. So basically saying that this customer ID here, I'm grouping based on customer category ID. So I'm grouping each row in here. So these two should be safe, but I'm not grouping based on this. So that gives me an error message here. So let's go ahead and then for now, we're going to group based on customer ID too. It's simply saying that what if there's many customer IDs that are the same within each customer category ID? What should I do with those? Well, in Postgres, we don't have like a last or first kind of function, but we could do like an average or something like that and get the average customer ID. But let's go ahead and run this now and see. In the final solution, we're not going to have this group by this way. But so here now we're seeing here's a customer category ID, and here are all the customers. And this is a little bit misleading. It's really customer ID, right? But we see here in customer category 4, we have 2 customers here, and then there's even more here, right? And then down here comes 3 and 2 and so on. But what we basically want to know, we want to know for 4, customer category 4, how many unique customer IDs are there in there? For number 5, how many unique customer IDs are in there? So then what I want to do is I want to group by customer category ID, and I want to count the customer IDs. So I'm going to count customer ID. So now I'm getting this table here. And let's go ahead and order by customer category ID to make it easier to view this. And then let's rerun it. So we have in customer category ID 1, which is for computer store type customers. We have 51 customers. Or at least we think we have 51 customers. In customer category 2, which is corporate, we have 47 customers. The only question now, after we've done this, if we remove this group by here and we look at this result again, I need to remove the count here, and we run this. I now see that here, customer category ID for computer store, these are all the different customer IDs in here. The big question now is, are there any duplicate customer IDs within a single customer category? And if there are, if I want to count how many customers I have, I don't want to count duplicate customer IDs as two different customers. So say this is 1030 here, and let's pretend this is also 1030. Well, when I add those rows up together, or I count how many rows, I don't want to count that as two different customers. So I only want to count that one. So one way we can deal with that is simply to add a distinct in here when we're counting. So let's go ahead and change this. I'm going to go back to my query here with a group by, and then I'm going to add the keyword distinct. And let's go ahead and run this. Okay, so let's remember 51, 47, 48, 459, and 58. And then I'm going to remove that keyword distinct and see if the results change. And I'm getting exactly the same result. And this could be either just pure luck, or it could be because that's how the database is designed. So let's try to understand this a little bit better. Why am I getting the results that are the same? Well, first of all, that simply means that there were no duplicate customer IDs within each one of these customer category IDs. That's why I'm getting the same count. But is that guaranteed to always be that way? Or could I possibly have some customers that belong to the same customer category more than once? And if that's the case, then I need to include this distinct even though the results are the same. Otherwise, my query wouldn't maybe work if the data changed a little bit. But let's take a look at the ERD diagram to decide whether it is possible that a single customer ID can belong to the same customer category more than once. If we look at this customer category membership table, notice that it says PK on both these rows. That means primary key. So this is a composite primary key between these two fields, which means that the combination of these has to be unique. So within a specific customer category ID, I can never have the same customer ID more than once. I can have the same customer ID in the table more than once, but that would be for different customer category IDs. So in this specific example, I do not need to use this distinct keyword. I'm guaranteed to get the same result whether I have that distinct keyword or not. These small little nuances are really important to understand when you're joining between different tables, especially when there's a one-to-many type of relationship. You need to understand what actually happens. How many can I possibly have related to each other? So you need to look at things like the relationship. You need to look at things like primary keys and see if there's guaranteed to be some sort of unique constraint on that. So primary keys always have unique constraints. But the two solutions then is this is one solution and this is the second solution, and they are identical as far as the result they will return given the database how it's been designed.